In this video, I'll walk you through my Meta Ad strategy, which I used to get different B2B SaaS startups to 1-3 million ARR. First of all, we're gonna look into essentials. And the reasons we wanna do this is because if you skip those, you may waste another 30-50 grand on things that you don't need. So first of all, you wanna dial in your ICP. You want to look into these things which are who pays you the most money, who pays you the quickest, and what's the audience for which it clicks immediately. The reason why you want to do this type of quiz is so that instead of you feeding your money to Facebook so that they figure it out, instead you can just save yourself a couple months of testing by you looking into what is already working for you. This way you can understand who you need to optimize your campaign for instead of spending 20, 40, 100 grand figuring it out with Facebook. So for example, if you already have like 20 or 100 sales, if you're using multiple channels right now to get sales, you may look what is the messaging that's working best, that's working better than others. Then you look into which words you use, which convert and resonate with buyers better, and what helps you get the best type of people on the call. For example, imagine you've got some biotech solution and it solves a couple different problems, but in one situation, when you talk about one thing, you get people who they are easy to get on calls, but they're extremely hard to pay money and they have a very lengthy sales process. And then there is another audience that you're selling to, and it's much easier to get on calls and much easier to get them to pay you money. So you want to understand who you want to be optimizing for, because again, with Facebook and Meta Ads, you're going to get exactly what you ask for. So that's why you want to be very specific when doing your ICP, and you want to make sure you call out the ICP in specific words. Because, for example, when me running different campaigns, when I would just do something like B2B SaaS founders, then I would have my ads shown to people who are like idea stage, looking to start a SaaS and stuff like this. That's why you want to be specific in your wording. So if you're like selling to MarTech companies above 20 employees using HubSpot, guess what? You need to use these words in your campaign. So you want to call out marketing agencies above 20 employees using HubSpot. And if you're worried that there is not enough of them, look, Meta has access to 3 billion people, and that's why it's much better if you call them out specifically. Then stick to the messaging which is already converting for you. So do not reinvent the wheel. And you may even go and ask like your favorite customers who have been with you for a very long time, like why exactly you guys paid to us, why you chose us over competitors, and questions like this, because this is going to allow you to get massive insights which you can then pack into your campaign. And instead of you trying to find what are potential reasons people would pay for your solution, instead you can just access them 10-15 minutes from now and just plug them in, because if it worked a couple of times, high chance there's gonna be thousands of other people resonating with the same thing and calling it in this specific words. So look into which angle converts best in other channels. So now, as we're over with essentials, this potentially have already saved you like half a year minimum, because this is just very powerful. Then we'll look into the funnel. Currently there are 2 main funnels which I'm getting the best results with for B2B SaaS startups. And also I'm seeing many fast growing companies execute these ones in the space. One is the case study video funnel. Another one is a sales deck funnel. Key difference is in the one you highlight more about the top case study you've achieved, helped someone achieve with your solution, and you pack it in the form of a video. And the second one would be in the form of a sales deck, and this one would be more product benefits related in simple terms. The framework which you usually would use for either of this looks the following way, and this is what is getting the best conversions for us. Who exactly this resource is for, the problem, solution, how it works, social proof 1, call to action number 1, key benefits of your solution over alternatives, why you want to switch to your solution now, what if the prospect keeps everything the same. You want to walk them through this so that they get this negative visualization of, oh, we don't want our HubSpot to keep delivering us poor results, so that's why we need to change this right now. Then killer social proof number 2, and then call to action number 2. This is an overall framework which we use for either of these funnels when applying it. And the thing I need to mention here is that inside my coaching program, where I actually scale B2B SaaS startups to 1 to 3 million ARR, I give all the templates and resources so you nail it from your first try, rather than waste 10 to 30K in 6 months figuring it all out. Click the link in the description under this video to apply to my coaching so I can help you fast track your path to these milestones, as I've done for many and many other startups. Now, next thing we are going to look into is going to be the actual meta campaign. Few things here. Everything starts with us choosing the campaign objective, and this is where a lot of people get this completely wrong and then wonder why they spent like $500,000 on meta ads and gotten poor results. Look, again, the thing you need to understand with meta ads is you get exactly what you ask for. The advantage of meta ads over alternatives, and why I love them a lot more than LinkedIn ads, is if you give meta ads more freedom, you will usually have okay results. Whereas if you give LinkedIn ads a lot of freedom, you are gonna waste millions and throw them into the bin. So that's why by default you will be getting somewhat, considering all other things done right, if you give more room for decision to meta, this is typically not a terrible move. Rather than with LinkedIn ads, you want to be super specific, and like you miss one checkbox, then you fail your entire campaign. There are some important tweaks like this in meta as well, but typically here you're on a safer side, and also it has just so many more people that it can reach that the results are, I switched after doing both, so that's why. Campaign objective, again, if you are selling under $250 a month to like $500 a month average order value, then you want to track and optimize for sales objective, because you want to be directly driving traffic into sales typically. Whereas when you're selling into $500 to 1K a month and all the way to like 10K a month, sometimes 20K a month solution, then you want to track and optimize for leads. The reason behind it is that typically you'd be selling through calls here, and it's just you need to go above and beyond to show Facebook how everything goes into sales if your sales are only tracked on the very back end and have nothing to do with meta. And just another thing is, meta can learn really well after it had like 20 to 50 different events occur, and if you never show it whether the lead is actually booking a call or buying the product, then it's not going to understand much. So look, usually if you're selling under $250 a month, you run traffic straight into the website, and that's how on your website you can get meta to see has someone purchased or not. If you're doing this price check and above, typically you run traffic into sales calls, and if that's the case, then you need to be showing meta who are those people who are booking calls with you. And then another life hack, which I learned from a meta agent I have like this month in 2025, is you want to use Facebook panel. I think it's somewhere there, and there is like an inbuilt CRM, and you want to specify whether the lead is qualified in this CRM or not, because then Facebook will start to understand whether this is a decent prospect for you or not, and then over time it's gonna be learning a lot and a lot faster. So for example, recently I helped a startup grow by 600K ARR in 6 months. And midway, I noticed that they've been doing this important thing as well, that they were dragging and showing, basically they were sort of doing CRM management inside the Facebook Meta panel, and I think it's inside the business suite or something. And this allowed Facebook to learn much quicker, and thus the period, this gap that it took them to start generating fantastic leads was like maybe few weeks max, not more. So then after you chose the campaign objective, you move to creatives, and there are typically few main angles which we use in creatives. One is before versus after. Second one is memes, because fantastically convert even in enterprise sales, which was a bit of an interesting insight for me. Then social proof, because it's like it converted 10,000 years ago, it will convert for another 10,000 when you have videos of other people saying fantastic things and getting results with your thing, with your solution. Then it often really works well. And then showing the actual product, there is one interesting creative that I found recently, and the angle is that you take your iPhone and you basically make a video showing the screen and how your product works and the three main pains it solves and how. And this interestingly has converted quite well for a few of my current students. Then what you say in your creative and your copy accounts for 85% of results. This is a huge mistake I've seen people make a lot of times. They would spend like 40 hours on the video or the deck, or for example the funnel itself, and then when it would come to the meta campaign, they would just make the creatives and write copy for them in like 3-5 minutes, and not even make more variations, choosing the best ones. You don't get fantastic results such way. So you wanna put a lot of effort on your front end, because otherwise people will never even get to your product. So that's why the way you will make your creatives and how nicely you'll write your copy and edit it, again, 85% of your results are there. And lastly, on the campaign side, we have the copy. So what we usually do is we avoid weird headlines. We do no description, just headline and main body copy. And you never want to use Advantage Plus creative optimizations, because it will often plug some stupid music to your creatives and then put some weird words on top of this. You want to make sure you switched all of them off, and then you double check that all of them are turned off once campaign is running, because sometimes Meta can switch it back on for you, which is double check this. And coming to the main angles which we use in our copy, this would be the case study angle and before versus after angle. This is gonna get you initially 5 to 20 meetings per week. And what you want to do next is to dial in your sales process so that you can convert all these leads and reinvest half or like 70% of all the new revenue into more ads, so that you can really fast track your path to the first 1 to 3 million ARR and actually get there in a few months rather than in years and decades as it takes for some. The sales process which you want to follow, and look, there is no one right or wrong way around this, but for sure one huge mistake I see a lot of startups make is they start the call and then they jump into talking about their product. You don't sell solutions like this effectively. It just doesn't work. You first need to learn what the person needs and what they actually want to buy, because oftentimes you can hear them even say, look, I'm looking for X which can do Y so that we can get to Z. And then guess what? When presenting your product, you're gonna do exactly this. This is how this feature is gonna allow you to solve X problem so that you can then solve Y problem and get to your Z desired outcome. So Long story short, you can frame it as discovery-driven sales process, where for the first part of the call, or even for the first call itself, you will be learning more about their situation, learning more about the pains that they have, and the dream outcome they want to get to. Well, A, B, gap selling in a nutshell. Stop showing the freaking product right from the start. Learn what they want to buy, then show how your solution does it. Control the frame, and this is what, it's not that much advanced of a tactic, it's just a lot of founders don't get it. If you're super needy in your conversations, if you start the calls with, oh, thank you very much for finding some time in your busy schedule to look into our solution, no chance you sell high ticket to them this way. When you go to a hospital and you meet a surgeon, he never tells you, oh, thank you very much for finding time in your day for a conversation. No, he's like, okay, no problem, like tell me more, sure, I'm listening. That's how it works. So that's why you want to learn the concept of frame, and the one who controls the frame controls the whole sales process. If the call starts with them saying, oh yeah, just show me the stuff you have and then we'll see if we need this. If you follow the steps that they outline for you, then once it will get to decision making part, you will have no leverage. You don't want the situation to be like this. So you want to control the frame and authority right from the start. You want to explain them how the entire process is going to look like. So today I would like to learn more about your situation and see if our solution can be of value. If I see that it does make sense to share more about it, then I'll just walk you through the way our software works. Sounds good? And then you can build out your sales process from there, do the discovery, and to learn more about how to do all this correct way, check out my other video on the way you run SaaS product demos so that you get very nice close rate. Again, control the frame. If your language screams you need to sell a lot more than they need to solve a problem, you'll never close. And then all of a sudden, when they were so close to buy, they'll just say, no, give us some time. And then you just have no authority or influence to impact it in any way. This does not occur if you build up all the leverage from the start and they actually need to solve the problem a lot more than you need to sell them. I know it's tricky, especially when your pipeline is dry, but you wanna run your sales calls as if you have 40 to 80 of them scheduled each week, even at the point when you only have 3 to 10 product demos scheduled every week. And this is how you're gonna eventually get to the 40-60 meetings a week mark, as some of the students in my program have done. Again, watch my other sales video to learn more about it. And if you want to scale to 1 to 3 million ARR and you're not keen to waste years trying to figure it out, or wasting like $500,000 ad spend playing with different tweaks here and there, just apply to my coaching program and I'll get this sorted for you. Also, I actively post insights from the new campaigns in my Telegram channel. I'll put the link nearby so that you can follow all these trends and updates in real time. Thanks and talk soon.